Good morning. You already know what it is today. Read aloud with Miss Nicole. Today we're going to read the Black Panther Party's 10-point program for beginners. This is actually this is also a coloring packet. I'll have to get this to y'all. I was gifted this from one of our comrades during the Seattle Black Panther 50th anniversary conference we had a few years ago. One of the comrades there had brought these for all the children. And as an educator, I had to make sure to grab a couple of them, so I always have a copy to hand out. I made sure that when I was teaching my first graders at the Freedom School, all of my first graders received this, even my non-Black students, because we need to understand, appreciate, and respect the fact that this 10-point program was obviously drafted or inspired by others, and it will continue to do so. I've seen this like a 10-point program, the basis of it or the ideology of it in many organizations and many movements. And so let's go through these 10-point programs. I know that some folks might be familiar with the 10-point program, and some of us are not. And so let's talk about the reason why we even had to come up with this 10-point program. We'll go into a few minutes of that first before I start reading. So the Black Panther Party was created to protect ourselves. We needed to have a protection. We see it now. There is nothing new about police officers or Black bodies being left in the street, being killed for everyone to see. That there's nothing new about that, boo-boo. Nothing new at all. Before they were shooting us and leaving us in the street, they were lynching us. They were hanging us in trees. You know, when Billie Holiday talks about strange fruit, right? Talking about some layers here. And so it's crucial that we have some form of rules to go by. You know, anytime we go into a classroom, anytime we go into a gym or a movie theater or a mall or wherever we go, there's always a form of rules that we should be following that let us know, you know, how loud we should talk, whether or not we can run in this building or not. We talk about, you know, what is appropriate for us to do. And this is a system and a way for us to keep accountable to each other and to ourselves as a Black community. And again, as brown and Black folks, I say brown and Black because I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Miss Nicole doesn't have the phenotype of a dark-skinned Black person, right? But I still have the experience of a Black woman. And so I say brown and Black because I have to understand that as I navigate this world as a brown, ambiguous looking person, right? Ambiguous meaning you can't really tell sometimes if I'm dressed a certain way or if I have my hair a certain way or if I'm in certain parts of the world. People may not know that I'm Black, like the way that I think that I'm Black. People have called me white, I've been called Latina, I've been called Middle Eastern. And so when I say ambiguous, I mean in the sense that although I identify as Black and I see myself as a Black woman in this world, the world may not see me as that. And the world doesn't see all of us as that, right? And so we have to be mindful that as brown and Black folks, it doesn't really matter what people think we are because we'll never be white. We'll never be white. And white people know that. And so it's crucial for us to unite and be in solidarity. And it's also important for white folks to be in solidarity with us as well. And I talk about allyship and I talk about the importance of having friends and supporters. That is crucial. But as an ally, I need to know how deep you're willing to go, right? And what does that solidarity mean? Does that mean that you're willing to stand up to someone else to protect me, right? Like we're doing for ourselves. And this is the importance of having a 10-point program. We're going to keep ourselves accountable and we're going to keep our community accountable, right? So let's get to this because I want to get this coloring book out to y'all. Number one, We want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our Black community. We believe that Black people will not be free until we are able to determine our destiny. Two, we want full employment for our people. We believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every man employment or a guaranteed income. I'm going to go ahead and put women, transgender, and just folks in there, right? We believe that if the white American businessman will not give full employment, then the means of production should be taken from the businessman and placed in the community so that the people of the community can organize and employ all of its people and give a high standard of living. This is where we got the Robin Hoods coming in, right? I know we have seen the book or the cartoon, or maybe we haven't, but if you've ever heard of the story about Robin Hood, Robin Hood is portrayed as a white character who robs rich people like kings to give to the poor. So what that is saying is if you will not give us employment, we will gladly take it from you. And if we have to take from the corporations to give to the community, we will absolutely do that. Also wanted to notice that says organic, right? Number 3, we want an end to the robbery by capitalists of our Black community. We believe that this racist government has robbed us, and now we are demanding the overdue debt of 40 acres and two mules. 40 acres and 2 mules were promised 100 years ago as restitution for slave labor and mass murder of Black people. We will accept the payment in currency, which will be distributed to our many communities. The Germans are now aiding the Jews in Israel for the genocide of the Jewish people. The Germans murdered 6 million Jews. The American racist has taken part in the slaughter of over 50 million Black people. Therefore, we feel that this is a modest demand that we make. And we have to remember that when this was created, this was written over 50 years ago. So when we're saying over 50 million Black people have been slaughtered, we know that that number has risen. We know that for a fact because we see it every day on our news. We see Black men being lynched, Black women, we see Black children being lynched. And that's the word for it. It's lynched. Lynched is when you kill someone specifically out of race. Let's keep going. Number 4, we want decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings. We believe that if the white landlords will not give decent housing to our Black community, then the housing and the land should be made into a cooperative so that our community, with government aid, can build and make decent housing for its people. If you're not going to give us quality living, then give us the funds to do it ourselves. We'll build it ourselves, right? Number 5, we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present day society. We believe in an educational system that will give to our people a knowledge of self. If a man does not have knowledge of himself and his position in society and the world, then he has little chance to relate to anything else. Remember, this also applies to women, transgender, and non-binary folks. Right? Kwame Nkrumah. I had the opportunity of visiting his memorial a couple months ago. Just the thought of it, just honored. It was a humbling experience. Number 6, we want all Black men to be exempt from military service. Again, women, transgender, and non-binary folks as well. We believe that Black people should not be forced to fight in the military service to defend a racist government that does not protect us. We will not fight and kill other people of color in the world who, like Black people, are being victimized by the white racist government of America. We will protect ourselves from the force and violence of the racist police and the racist military by whatever means necessary. Muhammad Ali, he said he wasn't going to no brown, yellow, or any other land to fight any other brown or black people. He said he wasn't doing it. Number 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and the murder of black people. We believe we can end police brutality in our black community by organizing black self-defense groups that are dedicated to defending our black community from racist police oppression and brutality. The Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States gives a right to bear arms. We therefore believe that all black people should arm themselves for self-defense. Don't sound outdated, does it? Power to the people, right? Number 8, we want freedom for all black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. We believe that all black people should be released from the many jails and prisons because they have not received a fair and impartial trial. Again, we are not going to forget the women, the children, the transgender and non-binary folks. Let my people go. Number 9, we want all black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in a court by a jury of their peer group or people from their black communities, as defined by the Constitution of the United States. We believe that the courts should follow the United States Constitution so that black people will receive fair trials. The 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution gives a man a right to be tried by his peer group. A peer is a person from a similar economic, social, religious, geographical, environmental, historical, and racial background. To do this, the court will be forced to select a jury from the black community from which the black defendant came. We have been and are being tried by all white juries that have no understanding of the average reasoning man of the black community. Ten, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume, among the powers of the earth, the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We're going to break that down in another lesson. Emory Douglas. I also had the opportunity of meeting him during this conference. He was the artist along with, I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on her name. Ooh, that's horrible. They were the artists for the Black Panther Party newspaper. Panther power, right? Got to serve the people, right? I have my qualms about Hotep, but you know what? This ain't the time for that. That right there, anybody know who that is? I know some of you do. That right there, that's little Bobby Hutton. I'll post a video soon about some of the members of the Black Panther Party. Little Bobby Hutton was murdered by the police. Another black man taken. So I hope you enjoyed this little mini lesson. There's so much to say about the Black Panther Party. We have to remember that there were, we had them in different states, different cities. We had them here in Seattle. Seattle, I believe, was the second branch. Oakland was the first. I believe Seattle was the second branch to ever open up. So yeah, Black Panther Party 10-point program for beginners. Again, if anybody wants this coloring packet, I did not create this. I try to show pictures of the artists and everything. And if anybody needs this, contact me.